Involved on or off stage, plan on attending one of the auditions. Crew members will only need to say, fill out paperwork in the cheer of his mind. Any questions?
Solve it however you're going to solve it. You just got to have work to back it up.
Robotics club today at lunch in the library. All of you interested in robotics, the library, invited to attend. On Friday tomorrow, Mrs. Lightberg's room. Banking school in the COVID era. During lunch in Mrs. Lightberg's room tomorrow. Junior PSAT. December 8th deadline. You sign up if you're interested. Oh, please stand for the pledge. To the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Taylor home. Lindsay, Rudy, and Mars. Claire, Grace, and Nicole. Cool. Is that big enough? Okay. Not necessarily, but like everything in math with a variable, you just assign it arbitrarily.
I'm just having a little bit of a hard time.
Yes, they're all XYZ.
Oh.
Oh, perfect.
I asked, has it been, are you, can you see it? Like, killing me, man.
Fair enough.
Power of Christ compels you. Yeah. tell you that the answers should be integers. I'm tired. Make sure that we're right here. 1, -3, -18, 3, -2, 5, 22, -2, 20. Oh yeah. Integers. They should come out pretty.
It should come out all whole numbers.
Integers. The blank expression and narrowed eyes of suspicion you gave me are worrisome.
Oh. Great.
You all got to keep the bags out of the aisles. I'm a klutz. Okay. I'm going to trip over something, go and get the boob graze on Lars, and he's going to sue me, and it's going to be awkward. Okay? Immaculate shading. Okay. Give it a little more time. I know 3 variable systems, like most of the problems that got too many steps to them, some of us might just see the matrix and poof, answer, because it just clicked. Some of us might fight through it for 10 minutes. How's the homework, by the way? Are we still sitting at that like 20, maybe 25, because we get lost in the sauce kind of thing? Not above 30 minutes?
No, took a little bit longer because this took a while, but.
Okay. Distraction. Yeah, if you are distraction free, they should not be 30 plus minutes. Ever. Most nights we're aiming for that 15, 20 minute mark. I know everyone's got different processing speed. Sometimes you can't be distraction free. Okay.
Are we gonna continue on with this, or are we just
Yeah.
gonna? Okay.
You hand it in, I check through it, make sure you did everything, and then you get it back tomorrow and we keep going.
Okay.
Okay. Do got to get rolling though, so I'm gonna give you another minute. Because if we're not there by now, odds are we're in the scribble, scribble, erase mode. It's kind of like if you say or write a word too many times, doesn't matter. Now it always looks wrong. Okay, cool. So, first thing I always do, label. I want to make sure that other people can follow my work. Step 2, I get to choose what variable I'm going to eliminate, and I want to find one that should be relatively simple to eliminate 2 different ways. Most folks are going to go for whatever is a coefficient of 1 or -1, because I can take 1 or -1 times anything to make the thing. So it's perfect. Don't have to do too much thinking. So I'm betting, is there anyone who did not eliminate x first? Anyone who chose hard mode and went for y or z? Okay. So I'm going to do 2 by equation 1. 2x 10y minus 6z is -36. And equation 3, -2x minus 3y plus 8z is 28. Smack those together and get 7y plus 2z is -8. Undo it again. Maybe -3 by equation 1. -3x minus 15y plus 9z is +54. With equation 2, 3x minus 2y plus 5z is 22. Light bulb!
You know what I did? This is so awesome. I solved for y on the first equation and then labeled it as z. And when I tried to plug z in for y, it didn't work out.
Getting a -17y plus 14z is 76. Now that I have 2 equations that both don't have x's in them, 7y plus 2z is negative 8, and negative 17y plus 14z is 76.
Oh yeah. I have.
No, not like turd green. There we go. I'm going to take the top row times maybe a negative 7. So a negative 49y minus 14z is a positive 56. Negative 17y, 14z, 76. It's 120, 132, cancels out, negative 5966. And divide and it comes out clean. If I know one of them, go back and find the other. Now we're going to say 7y plus 2z is negative 8. And plug in negative 2. So now I have negative 14 here. I'll add 14 to the other side. 2z is 6. Z is 3. I know y, I know z. I'll go all the way back to the beginning and find the one that we got rid of. I'm going to say x plus 5y's minus 3z's is negative 18. I know z is 3. I know y is negative 2. Getting negative 10 minus 9 is negative 19. X minus 19. Add the 19 to the other side. X is 1. And again, we got some kid in here who is just twitching right now because it was so close to just 1, 2, 3. So the steps, the process. Remember, we're all about that process in here. Did you eliminate a variable 2 different ways and do it correctly? Did you solve the 2 variable system? Well, that's just algebra half, so we'll just say 1 there. And then, you know what? No. And did you do it correctly? And then finally, at the end of the rainbow, did you plug back in to solve for the missing variable? Because that was a question asked the other day, is can I just write x equals this, y equals this, z equals this in my problem and just box them in? Or do I have to write the coordinate? You need to understand its coordinate. If you ever have to do something like this with maybe you do a dual credit class, just going on to college and you take, I don't know, Calc 2 or something. Most modern classes are going to have you input stuff in an online program as part of their daily work. So just make sure you know that that's the coordinate 1, negative 2, 3. It's about the process. So naturally, all the way back here, let's say I forgot to multiply this fella by 2. Well, now it's a negative 18. Now it screws everything up. And when you come down here, you're going to start getting fractions. But did you solve or eliminate a variable 2 different ways? Yes. Did you do it correctly? No. Did you solve the 2 variable system? Yes. Did you do it correctly? Yes. Did you plug it back in? Yes. Okay, I just missed this one part. 4 out of 5. But if you start stacking up problems, goof here and here, okay, more off. Or if you Jumanji? Huh. Or if you started doing this and then just ran face first into the wall and nothing went right after that, all right, we might be looking at a 2 out of 5 because we tried doing the thing didn't work, and we didn't even know what to do next. Okay? Any questions on scoring it up? Again, make sure these are labeled, whether they're in a binder, your notebook, they're right after each section of your homework, whatever it is, I need to be able to find these. They need to be labeled and organized because the quicker I can get through them, the more likely it is you can pick up your stuff at lunch instead of after school, or instead of I have to grade stuff while game club's going on after school because I can't read whatever Holden's got scribbled in his book. Come on, dude. And then you have to get it tomorrow, which is also perfectly cool. You won't have homework tonight. No assignment. On quiz day, you never have an assignment. So it's cool to just leave your stuff here and then pick it up tomorrow morning. So, all right, you go away. Safe. Oh man, I didn't even log into the book. No one asked anything last night. Do we have a question? Usually what happens with this is kids are good. If there's a problem, it's not in the how, it's the execution of the how. It's, I did the problem, I'm obviously wrong because 117 over 39 is not the answer. Go back and check your work and oops, I missed a negative. Like that's usually what happens. By the way, if you're doing that and you're organizing your work and you just don't know where you went wrong, yo, where'd I go wrong? Just send me a picture of your work, okay? I've had a couple of kids now say, well, it was late and I didn't want to text you. Were you not listening day one? Yeah, I might be unconscious, but I'll answer you at 5:45 in the morning. Okay? That's how it goes. We get the rugrats out of their beds. We sit on the couch. Rugrat number 1 is hanging out right here sipping chocolate milk while I'm checking messages. Rugrat number 2 is over there, stole his mom's phone, and he's obsessed with YouTube videos about toy cars right now. At least until their waffles are ready. So we get up at 5:30 to make sure that we can get everyone ready, and I have to drop him off so I can be here by 7:30. So if we don't have questions then, which really sucks when you're up until like 10:30, 11, because you needed to make a quiz because you procrastinated. All right. Open notes, open everything. Okay. Now, I screwed up when I did this because I was cross-eyed at the moment. It's going to say quiz on both sides. The one that has a Venn diagram with a pair of 12s in it in a box, that's the one that's our review. So, yeah, that one, right? No, that one's review. So one side is review, one side's a quiz. Because I goofed. No. No. Very no. Okay. Everyone got one? Okay. So you're finding the side that the Venn diagram is in the box. You're crossing out this 12 and turning it into a 10. And up at the top, you're scribbling out quiz and saying review. This is what happens when you spend the first portion of the evening putting the bathroom sink back together and then make the quiz. Okay? Countertop with the sink already underneath it. It's not a drop-in sink like normal. And someone decided to sit on the counter and then fall into the sink, which then sent the sink down onto the, yeah, that happened. So, but yeah. So if I made a goof, oops. Everyone here, good to go? Remember, it's open notes, open book. We're about to do a review that looks just like the quiz on the back. Number 1 is find stuff with Venn diagram in set notation. Number 1 is find stuff in Venn diagram with set notation. So as we're reviewing real quick the last 5 days of instruction, it'd be a really good idea to maybe write a note next to it to remember to do this. Don't do that. Remember your labels. Tell yourself what to do. The goal of education is not to get you. The goal is to support you fully and see what you are capable of doing. Okay? So, yo, Frank, keep up. All right. So first was sets. And this is a 10. Use a diagram to find, do we know what this means? We got that little squiggle in front of F. What does it mean? Not F. It's the complement of F. What is this? Union, which means or. H, intersect, which means and B. So, just like order of operations, start with the parentheses. H intersect B. Okay, H intersect B. So it's that stuff, or anything that's not an F. So now go and also highlight stuff that's not an F. U, and U, and U. Yep. And then we got to go back and get rid of 15 because it was, wait a second, do we? No. Because it says or. So even though it was restricted out of this set, it's allowed in this set. As teenagers, you're probably fond of the phrase being grandfathered in. Okay? When the rule didn't happen until later, so you get by with it. Happened to me when I was in high school. They switched the rule. You had to have your permit for 6 months instead of 3 months before you could get your license. No. I already had mine for 3 months and had already taken my license, so we're good. And then North Dakota, if you were on a farm, once you had your permit, they just let you drive trucks. As long as you claimed it was for farm business, you could just drive once you had your permit. So, yes, it is all of them. Yes, ma'am?
So if it's and, that's when they would get rid of that.
Right. If this said and, not only would I have to get rid of the 15, I would have to get rid of the 10 and the 20 and the 5 because those are not the intersection. It would have to meet both criteria. Okay, so in this case, it says use proper set notation for this, use proper set notation for that. First up, I'm going to say 5, 10, 15, 14, and 20. The order doesn't matter as long as they're in there. Then use proper notation to describe the set 12, 13, 15. 12, 13, 15. That's a 10. How do I describe this? What do they all have in common? They're all in F. They're all in intersections, so that's going to play a part.
I mean, they're not all in H.
Or F and
Okay, so what I have seen kids do before, there are multiple answers to this. What I've seen kids do before is it's in intersections. So maybe I say the intersection of F and H, or the intersection of F and B. I've seen kids do that. Right? It was in intersections, but they were two different intersections, so I use or to say either one. I've seen other kids say, you notice that those are all H and B? Okay. But not the 9. Is there a way to exclude that? I can't say intersection of F and H and B, because that would just be 15. Is there another way to write it?
Could you do just the not F?
F and H or not.
The same one up there, just do the not.
It has to be F and H.
Well, I can't. Can I say not F?
No, I'm saying like, so like the equation up there, you just take off that not, put it in that one.
No, you gotta switch them.
This?
Yeah. That one.
That's more an and. No, because then the 9 would fit. You have
Hmm.
to switch.
Right, because now the intersection or all of F, the 14, would have to be in there. Okay. F and A or B. Because now, or H or B, if I say H union B, that's all of this stuff. But then I say it has to be in F. That gets rid of these ones because they're not in F. There are multiple ways to write them. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure those were the two most common that I've ever seen before. But just know that there are going to be multiple answers as long as you're using the correct notation. All right, written as a complex number all the way back to Algebra 2. As a complex number, before I even get started, what's a complex number? Specifically, to make anything a complex number, it has to have what form? Real and imaginary part. So when I'm done with this, it needs to look like this. A plus BI. Not reciprocal. That'll just cancel it out and equal 1. The conjugate, both numerator and denominator, 1 minus 3i, getting upstairs. Does anyone still do the old school, like actually draw out your first outer inner last foil? I'm just wondering if anyone does. 2 minus 6i minus 4i plus 12i squared. Downstairs, a 1 minus 3i plus 3i minus 9i squared. I know that I squared is negative 1. I know that I squared is negative 1, so that's plus 9. I also know that these two will cancel out. So I get 1 plus 9 on a denominator. I get 2 minus 12 is a negative 10. Negative 6i minus 4i is a minus 10i. That's a lot of 10s. Equal opportunity bully. Don't just cross out a pair of 10s. That's not how math works. Every time you do that, you kill a puppy. That's horrible. Instead, remember that these are both over 10. So they both reduce down. My answer is simply -1 minus I. Or you can equal opportunity bully, what you do for one, you do for all. Cancel 10 from all of them. Okay, so whether you separate and reduce or reduce all at once, just make sure your final answer is as simplified as it gets. And that it's in complex number form, real plus imaginary. Okay. Graph-a-fa! I don't care how you graph, I just care that you graph and you label this stuff. If you got your calculator mojo, calculator mojo. Personally, I would prefer if we were able to say x is negative b over 2a, b is negative 12, a is 2. Altogether makes 12 over 4 is 3. I go find the function of 3 to get the other portion of my vertex. Because this tells me I'll have a what? Axis of symmetry. I'll plug in a 3. 9 squared, 2 is 18. 18 minus 36 is negative 18, plus 17 is negative 1. Dump it in the calculator, write it out, however your jam is. I now know that there is a vertex at 3, -1. Come on, Frank. Cross-eyed Alabama bet. Game club the other night, they broke out Trailer Park Wars and Redneck Life. Redneck Life is awesome because it's just like life, but everything is redneckized. Instead of like you hit the stop sign so you go to college and find your degree, it's you drop out of school and you find out what supermarket you're working at. Instead of you get married and have kids, it's get married, get divorced, and then get remarried, roll to see how many redheaded stepchild named Daryl you get. It's great. It's so trashy. But I do this, and once I got my vertex, is this headed up or down? How do I know? A is positive. If A is positive, I know it's heading up. I also know because it's a 2, I'm going to have perfect square steps that are twice as tall. So instead of 1, 1, it's 1, 2. Instead of 2, 4, now it's 2, 8. Instead of 3, 9, it's 3, 18. It's all twice as tall. So you can either just do that. I do have enough room. Over 1 up 2, over 2 up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got at least 5 points, right? I can see the curvature of it. Please try to keep it curvy like Beyonce. No Amanda Seyfried. Okay? Eat something, girl. That's still pretty stick-like, right? Or you could, since it's a vertical stretch by factor of 2, you could just make your scale go by 2s and then do normal perfect square steps. So, vertex, axis of symmetry, got those. Oh, domain. What is domain of a parabola every time? All real numbers, because there's no restrictions to it. But the range, this one had a vertex at 3, -1. So I either say -1 to infinity, or I can say y is greater than or equal to -1. Okay, either of them is cool now. Next up, solving by, I did say complete the square on there. I want you to cross that out, and I'm just going to say solve. You get a choice. Solve it however you want. If you want to solve it by complete the square, quadratic formula, whatever, I'll tell you it's not factorable. Yes, same for the quiz. You get your choice. I just care that you can solve them. Will not knowing complete the square come back to bite you in another 3.5 months? Yes. But most of you are cool with quadratic formula. Or complete the square. You variables left, constants right, divide by a. X squared minus 2x is negative 1/3. Add b over 2 squared to both sides, which is 1. Write it as a binomial squared. Solve by square roots. But you need to know how to rationalize radicals on the fly, or else you're going to have to do a little extra work. Because it'll be square root of 2 over square root of 3, no radicals downstairs, have to multiply by square root of 3 over square root of 3.
In this equation, you just add 1 to each side of the square.
Yeah, because half of negative 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. It's still b over 2 squared. It's just a pretty one. And then bring that over and say x is 1 plus or minus square root of 6 over 3. Because square root of 2 over square root of 3 has to be rationalized. So whether you do quadratic formula or complete the square, I don't care. I'm just saying it's not going to be factorable. I need to know that you can quadratic. That's it. Maybe make a note to yourself, has to be simplified radical answers. Don't you dare go to decimal land with these. Whether that's imaginary or not, whether it's rational or not. We're big kids. We write the real answer. Okay. Then we talked about, oh look at that, radicals. So, last I checked, 243 is not a perfect cube. But I bet there's one that goes in there. If I have no idea what perfect cube goes into 243, do I at least know what 243 is a power of? Know your squares through 20, cubes through 10, fourths through 5, as many powers of 2 and 3 as you can memorize. This happens to be 3 to the 5th. So if I rewrite that as 3 to the 3rd and 3 squared, right? So I can take something cubed out. If I rewrite this as x plus 7 to the 9th with another x plus 7, now I've got a bunch of stuff that's cubed. Cube root of 3 cubed is just 3. The crap? It was? That's a new noise. Okay. You say that more as you get older. That was a new noise. I've got this thing, x plus 7, also to the 3rd. Do I or don't I?
No.
Odd root. When's the only time I need the absolute value? Even index, odd power comes out. Pretty good thing to have handy written, even though it's in our notes. So make sure you write your final answer. It is 3x plus 7 to the 3rd, third root of, there is still a 9x plus 7 in there. If you wanted to distribute that and call it 9x plus 63, I ain't going to hold it against you. Down here, well, I got a 6 to the what power? 1/4. I have a regular 3 and a 6 to the 1/3 power. So, 6's can go together. What do I do with exponent times exponent? Add the exponents themselves. Or I should say a power times a power, because it's the whole thing. Get common denominators by 3 by 3 by 4 by 4. I'm going to have 3/12 plus 4/12 is 7/12, and then I've got this 3. So how do I write that back in radical land? 3 on the outside. The denominator is always your index. And the numerator is your exponent on the inside. If you know what 6 to the 7th is and you want to write that number, it's a little too big for me. Like I remember, what was it, 216, but then it's to the 7th, so it's 216 by 216 by 6. I'm going to get lost somewhere along the way, so I'm just going to leave it like that, and that's okay. There's no hard and fast rule about when you're supposed to write that number out. So whether you leave it as a exponent or whether you write it out, I'll take both. And then finally, yesterday, we reviewed 3 variable systems. What up there looks the easiest to get rid of? I see a coefficient of 1 or -1. I'm probably going to use z's. Because a coefficient of 1 or -1 means I only have to multiply a single equation. Less things to screw up. Could I do y's or x's? Yeah. I would have to double multiply though. So I'm going to write this as equation 1, 2, and 3, so I know what's going on. Remember, you want me to give you more points. You want me to give you extra value for doing the process, even if you screw up. So that means try to organize your work. So I'm going to say -2 by equation 1. So -6x minus 6y minus 2z is -20 with equation 2. 5x plus 2y plus 2z is 7. I'm also going to do -3 with equation 1. -9x minus 9y minus 3z is -30. And 3x minus 2y minus plus 3z is -9. Getting, gone, -x minus 4y is -13. And, gone, -6x minus 11y is -39. If I bring this guy down here, I bring this guy down here, maybe along the way I will multiply it by a -6. You okay if I do that on the fly? But I still wrote it, right? You still know what I did. It doesn't just show up 6 times bigger. I have something there showing you why I did it, where I did it. So we're going to have a positive 6x plus 24y plus 60, 18, 78 equals 78. And -6x minus 11y is -39. Getting 13y is 39, y is 3. If I know what y is, I'm able to take any one of these equations, because they all have just an x and a y, I'm able to take any one of them and plug in that y. Now, old school tells us I should be using one of the purple ones I'm already working with. I'm actually going to come back up here and use the blue one just because it's got smaller numbers in it. say negative x minus 4y's is negative 13. Now that I know it's a 3, add 12 to the other side, negative x is negative 1, so x is 1. Oh, x is 1, y is 3. Are they going to give us another 2, but it's out of order again? No! Go all the way back to the beginning. Which equation do you want to use to find z? Probably the first one, because z's got a coefficient of 1. So I'm going to say 3 of these plus 3 of those plus z is 10. I know x is 1. I know y is 3. I got 3 plus 9 is 12. Subtract z is negative 2. And does it make it a little bit easier to follow if I'm like coming all the way back up here and showing step 1, step 2, step 3? Like just blocking them out like that? If you want to use it, use it. Okay? But at the end of it, I do know what my answer is. 1, 3, negative 2. Okay? We had a daily quiz. Questions on homework if we have them. Let's assume that it is something we have some questions on, and we add another 10 minutes to this, 12 minutes to this. That puts it at 9:20. That gives you 28 minutes to do the quiz on the other side. And I said, by my timing, 27 minutes and 54 seconds. Everyone should be done. You have the rest of class to do this. Once you are done with the quiz goes in the basket over there. Oh, wait. Stop. Last year, second semester, they made me this way. Please, if you would, phones, smartwatches, all of it, over there. Just please be respectful about it. If you got wireless earbuds and you want to still have your device over there and jam while you're working, okay. If you're going to use a laptop for music, cool, just close the lid. Yo. Oh, no. No. Yank it out like Android Ash from Alien. No, don't worry. If you have a diabetic pump, you do not need to remove it.
Cool.
If you have a pacemaker, leave it in, okay? But yeah, if you want to jam with a laptop, that's fine. You got your music, close the lid. Okay, that's all I'm asking. Okay? What I usually do, because awkward silence is called awkward for a reason, is I put on just instrumental music in the background, just so there's something. Make sure you turn your phones to silent too, unlike your incompetent teacher. I'll just put some instrumental music on in the background, that's it, just so there's something going on. Yeah, you got the rest of the class to work on that. When you're done, quiz goes in the basket, notes and your folder or notebook or binder, whatever it is, all go over there. Please make sure your name is on everything. In fact, right now, second rule of kindergarten, who actually put their name on their quiz already? Okay. It doesn't matter which side, it just needs to be on there. So, that's it.